When it comes to Resident Evil, I find it quite compelling to dive into the lore of the franchise, mainly the lore that revolves around the original trilogy. It is the only part of the franchise that felt surreal, mysterious, believable, and it made you care about almost every character, including those that were only mentioned in notes and diaries. And today I wanted to talk about the original concept for the BOW Hunters that appeared in the first Resident Evil game. The Hunters are a group of genetically engineered bioweapons, and they were created by using human and animal hybrids, grafting reptilian donor DNA to a fertilized human embryo with the aid of the T-virus to bond the two agents together. This would explain the appearance of the BOW Hunters, why their skin color was green, and why they looked more reptilian than human. A man, simply known as the Keeper, working at the Spencer lab, mentioned in his diary that one day he was told to take care of a new monster, a creature that looked like a gorilla without any skin, and that he had to feed it live animals. He fed them a pig and noticed how they played with it first by tearing its legs off, then messing with its organs before they decided to consume it. Such horrific actions, wouldn't you say? But isn't it odd that he described them as gorillas without any skin rather than calling it something like a human-sized reptile standing on 2 feet? A gorilla without any skin sounds closer to the cancelled creature that should have been featured in the original Resident Evil 2, but was only seen in its early stages known as Resident Evil 1.5. This does leave you wondering if the infected gorillas were originally designed to appear in the first Resident Evil game, but I think they were designed as soon as production for Resident Evil 2 began, because what we do have instead is proof that the Hunters were originally meant to be dark brown instead of completely green. The first webcomic that was part of the Wildstorm comics would end up revealing this little bit of info. The 6th image to the Resident Evil webcomic shows Chris Redfield battling a hunter that appears brown instead of green. Chris says this out loud: "Great, not only can't I find Jill or Wesker, but now all the zombies I killed have turned into these things." This was the first time I heard of the Hunters being referenced as zombies that turned into BOW Hunters. And to be honest, it didn't make sense to me at all. At first I wondered, why would Chris think that these are the zombies he took down earlier if they look nothing like them? Nor did he witness a zombie transform into a hunter. His only evidence is the fact that they appeared in the same spots where he eliminated the zombies at the mansion. But even though zombies don't follow you into different rooms in the gameplay, there is a cutscene of a random zombie walking downstairs and entering the kitchen. And I'm talking about the original game. In the remake of Resident Evil 1, zombies do follow you into different rooms, or corridors. The Hunters aren't wearing any clothing to show that they were once human either. So then technically Chris could not just assume that every zombie in the Spencer mansion transformed into these Hunters, and it must have been a mistake from the illustrator of the webcomic. But then again, I took a look at the beta footage of the game, which is footage from its earlier stages, and look at that. The Hunters look like they have a closer resemblance to the Hunters shown in the webcomic. It's unclear as to why the creators like Shinji Mikami decided to change the origin of the BOW Hunters. Perhaps it made better sense to make the Hunters a separate creation as opposed to being the evolution of a zombie after roaming around for too long. When they released the remake of Resident Evil 1, they did include an evolution to a regular zombie which is known as a Crimson Head. I'll talk about that specific zombie in a separate video. Now, I'm not sure if this was ever explained. I believe it's only been implied, but I think that if the creatures such as the Hunters or Lickers end up infecting a person, and the person is still alive, then he or she will slowly turn into a zombie, and then after a while slowly mutate into the creature that infected them in the first place, such as a Licker or Hunter. Let me know in the comments if this has actually been confirmed or explained in the official canon or remakes. Because even there I believe this wasn't mentioned, or at least I don't remember if I ever read any files explaining this. We only know that Umbrella was capable of creating these creatures on their own, not that they can create more numbers by infecting humans and not killing them. Anyways, that's what the original concept for the BOW Hunters used to be. Next time we'll be taking a look at the Crimson Head zombies and why they've been absent from the series since their only introduction in the remake of Resident Evil 1. To those who have been waiting for a Resident Evil 8 Village review, I regret to inform you that I said it before, I'm not buying the game. I'm not supporting Capcom's decision to turn Resident Evil into a Fast and Furious or whatever's trending at the time. It's a miracle they didn't make a time-traveling game when time travel was a trend. But it's just not Resident Evil to me. If it was a different franchise, I could just play along with it. just agree with all the inconsistent bullshit that they throw at us. Boulders, T-Rexes, big booby MILF that only appears in the beginning, yet the marketing is centered around her. Capcom's like, got him. I'm sorry, but I just can't force myself to play that game. I simply ignore almost anything that occurred after RE3, like I do with Star Wars Episode 7, 8, 9, and that Han Solo spinoff. And I'll do this with Resident Evil 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Village, and I'll surely be ignoring Resident Evil 9 Town and Resident Evil 10 Mountain. Besides, I have so many different projects that I've been wanting to work on and I've been delaying for so long. Like I said with the introduction to this video, I only cover lore revolving around the original trilogy because that is what I'm interested in. There are plenty of channels out there covering everything new with the RE franchise, but this isn't one of those channels. This is an honest channel. I'm not gonna lie to you guys and pretend I like everything that has the Resident Evil name stamped on it. If I'm covering a Resident Evil video, it's gonna relate to the original trilogy. I said everything I wanted to say about RE8 with my roast video and the previous ones when talking about the trailers. There's nothing new I need to add to it. I've seen footage of the game and its story up to the end, and it's pretty much what I expected to see. That's about it. Hello, stranger. Welcome to the Storpian. We've got the iconic grin as well as the new lime green logo in store for you. And for a limited time, you can purchase these here. This one's based on the Resident Evil 3 mobile game called Resident Evil The Missions. And this one I like to call the Jill Manwich. It's my blend of the two things I love in this world, Jill and memes. And don't worry about the prices. They're as low as they can be. Yup, I'm barely making any profit. But, the important thing is that you don't need to spend too much to look good in the groovy lime green logo. So get yourself a Jill Manwich t-shirt or any of these luxurious and spunky designs and wear them with pride.
Yeah, wear them with pride.
Trust me, anyone sees you wearing one of these and they'll immediately think,
Esta pinche vieja es buena onda, cabrón.
which translates to,
This guy. This is my kind of guy.
now over at my Patreon, I'm working on some secret projects. So if you'd like to have access to some of these never before seen videos, including updates and concept art from a comic book I'm working on based on Resident Evil Outbreak, then my Patreon's got you covered. I'll be updating everyone there with exclusive videos and newer art panels so you can see how far that project progresses over time. It's going to be the first comic book I create and I'm putting as much effort as I can into it, so I do feel confident about that project alone. You might also be glad to know that I've started narrating the S.D. Perry novel of Resident Evil The Umbrella Conspiracy as part of the Patreon exclusives, and there will be a new video based on each chapter every week. So don't miss out on any of these, my fellow jabronis. That's it for the video. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button to give this video a chance to grow. I'd like to thank all my Patreon supporters for their impeccable generosity. Your support means a lot to me, and you are part of the reason why I try to make the best content that I can. And if you like this content, check out the rest of my channel. You'll find more entertainment from separate franchises I like to cover, such as Mortal Kombat, Dragon Ball Z, Celebrity Deathmatch, Men in Black, The Mask, Batman comics, The Terminator, TMNT, Dino Crisis, Resident Evil, and more. If you're a Patreon supporter, check out my exclusive videos such as the Gantz content. And if you'd like to show your support, go to my Patreon and support the channel, which is only $1. Sacrifice that McChicken for extra quality content, my friend. But anyways, I'll see you all in the next video, and remember to have an awesome day.